Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? My name is PJ and today I'm going to be doing a review on location experience that I had for WrestleMania 40. As most of you guys know, I booked this experience directly through On Location. This was my first ever experience through them. It came with a hefty price, a lot of pros and a lot of cons. So this is a video for you if you're looking into the On Location review for a WrestleMania or any of the other premium live events for WWE. This is the video. For most of you guys who don't know what On Location is, you can go through On Location to book the premium experience that gets you like the ringside experience or backstage pass or walk the aisle, whatever you want. They are your go-to. Basically, they provide a lot of premium experience that you can't really get through anybody else. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what I paid for two people, and that way you have an idea exactly what you're looking forward to when you're booking through On Location. A lot of pros and a lot of cons, but like I said, this is the video that's going to make you determine whether if you want to go through On Location or not. This is my honest review of On Location, period. So sit back and relax. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. First of all, I want to say this: WrestleMania was a blast. Okay, the worst thing that I can possibly say, without, if you eliminate the money aspect of the value, I would say it being so cold that people posting comments about the event itself saying like the crowd is dead. A lot of people don't know that it was so cold. When you are in that environment, you don't want to react to a lot of things. All you want to do is this: just, you know, clench your fist and just pray for the fact that you just stay warm for the next 3 or 4 hours, you know, that you have to stay in that event. You know, being outdoor at this WrestleMania had to be like the coldest WrestleMania ever. They were showing the temperatures of, you know, 49 degrees or whatever, and I kid you not, guys, it felt like it was 30 degrees. The wind, it really made a difference. At the end of the night, the last hour, I remember recording, you know, video footage from my camera, from my cell phone, and I was trying to do things on my phone and I couldn't move my fingers. My fingers were so cold, I couldn't really maneuver any of that stuff, you know, on my cell phone. I was like, my gosh, it is so freaking cold. I had 2 layers of pants. I had multiple layers up here, including a toboggan, a hoodie, etc. But it was very cold. You can ask anybody else, and not to mention WWE itself. They were mentioning how cold it was. I don't think the heaters itself were helping the WWE superstars. I think they were saying like it was cold. They really didn't feel any warmer, to be honest. But besides it being cold, the event itself, it was great. I had a fantastic time. There are a few elements, few times where I felt I was like, okay, let's talk about this. You know, going through On Location itself, there were some things that I felt like, I don't think that this part is worth it. But at the end of the day, what's going to determine you to go through On Location is my whole review itself. So the things that I'm going to mention in this video, how my experience was, especially in the Fan Duel Lounge, was probably like cherry on the top of the cake itself. So this is a video for you who is interested in finding out more information about On Location experience. You have come to the right place. Alright, let's get this thing started. First off, numbers. I know a lot of people actually wait to throw this at the end of the video, but I'm going to throw this in the beginning of the video. Then I'm going to be talking about pros and cons and my experience through On Location itself. Good thing is that you don't have to see my ugly face throughout the entirety of this video. You're going to see a lot of pictures and videos from my personal point of view, and that way you can see what my experience was overall. Okay, so I bought WrestleMania Gold package and my seats were 121R row 2, closer to 120R, which is the center section. but I was next to the center section, and we're going to be talking about the seats later on in the video. But here's a quick preview of what my seats were. Okay, so I spent $4,500 a piece, night 1, night 2. I went with my friend, so that came out to be $9,000 for 2 people. Alright, so pay attention. I paid for WrestleMania tickets. I was like, you know what? I just want to do WrestleMania Gold Package and call it a day. With the WrestleMania Gold Package, you get quite a few things. We get the Undertaker hospitality. That's the one that stuck out like a sore thumb. You know, Undertaker. You get to see him, you know, up close and personal. I had no idea exactly what I was going to get. All I knew was that we're going to be in an enclosed space, in an enclosed building, where we're going to be able to see the Undertaker, maybe talk, maybe do meet and greet. Who knows? That's all I knew. But we got just a little bit more than that, and I was quite happy. Like I said, we're going to be talking about that later. We're talking about price right now. Okay, so this is my WrestleMania Gold Package. So with WrestleMania Gold Package, you get your lower level seating, and you do get to pick that. Once you're talking to your agent, you can communicate. For example, the first row was $5,000 a piece, and I was like, I'm happier with the second row. I don't think it's a big deal or bigger difference having to be in the first row versus the second row. So I was in the second row, and that was $500 cheaper per person. Okay, dedicated stadium entrance, which is a bunch of BS. You do get a dedicated stadium entrance, but I don't think it's nowhere near faster. Honestly, they let us enter after when a lot of people were already entering, the normal people without the packages. So there's that. That's one of the cons. WWE credential and lanyard. Sure, at some point that does help you, but it didn't really help us all the time. For example, you get a dedicated entrance and express checkout lane for Superstore. So here's my honest experience with the whole priority pass Superstore lane. When we got to the convention center Friday, we experienced a lot of unorganized queues. The problem with this is that all of the people that were hired on the day of, when they started WrestleMania World, which is like the day before. That would have been Thursday, or I could be wrong, maybe Wednesday. I don't know exactly which day, but it was that week. So a lot of people didn't know what was going on there, you know. When we got there Friday, we got our passes, we got our wristbands, which was a whole clusterfuck. Oh my gosh, man. It kind of took us forever to get the wristbands, and they were very unhelpful. I had to dig through my passes and have them scan, but even that, you know, I feel like the people working there were just not interested in even helping you out as much. Anyways, besides that point, this is a part that kind of made me really irritated. We walked up to this priority pass Superstore queue where it was supposed to start, but the lady kept turning us away. She was like, I'm waiting for a response from the team. We don't know what we're doing right now, but for right now there is no queue, because it's so full in here. You have to go all the way out and at the main entrance of the convention center where the original queue is for the regular people, right? Which is a mile long. It is backed up all the way to the entrance of the convention center. We were like, this is BS. I mean, we paid money for this. I want to get my priority pass queue and, you know, start my queue right here. But they just kept turning us away. And so we went to the main entrance, and we stood there for like 15 minutes, and we got irritated. And there was a guy, you know, he was of course keeping up with the queue, just talking to people. And I just tapped on his shoulder. I was like, hey man, I was like, I've got a lanyard right here. I was like, I'm a priority pass queue. He was like, oh, he was like, here, just go right here at the B hall or whatever. And sure enough, there was another queue. And you really didn't see any signs there. It was just like a random queue there. He was like, here, this is a queue for the priority pass. And of course, when I talked to that guy, a lot of people started following me, and I didn't even see a lanyard on them. They were just following me. So it was so unorganized, and it just really made me irritated. Like, nobody knew what was going on. And those two queues were meeting together at one entrance. So to my right, there were normal people entering without the priority pass. And I, on the other hand, had the priority pass. I had my lanyard and everything. And there were several people within that same queue that I didn't even see having their lanyard out. You know, so I had no idea what was going on. Anyways, I was in the queue within the next 20 minutes or so. But then again, it was just a hassle. I just wish that there would be, you know, they would take precautions and make it well prepared for everybody else. It was just a cluster, man. It was a madhouse. And once you were in, you best hope that you can find a large or an XL shirt, because all the large and the XL shirts were out. I mean, you really couldn't find anything there, but that's just a Superstore experience. Sure enough, they did stock a few, but you have to kind of communicate with the employees there. You have to figure it out when they're going to be putting out some more shirts, and that maybe they can go in the back and get some for you. I don't have the ring mat plaque yet, even though it's been a month post WrestleMania. I just don't know when they're going to send that out. Once they send that out, I will be hopefully making a video if it's, you know, especially like a cool thing to share. I might post a video just for that. Same thing goes for the WrestleMania 40 signed poster. I don't have that. And going back to the WrestleMania 40 gift pack, this is what I have. As you guys can see in the pictures, I received this about 3 weeks prior to WrestleMania, which is a cool little gift. I'm probably going to cherish this for the rest of my life and probably keep it safe, as that this is the memory of WrestleMania itself. Okay, so once again, to review everything, for WrestleMania Gold Package, $9,000 for 2 people, this is what you get, what you see in the picture. Okay, so here's what happened with the WrestleMania transport and hotel. I was looking to get a hotel, and I was trying to compare, like, hey, what if I stayed at Rittenhouse Sonesta, which is the WrestleMania hotel that they're providing? What if I just went outright and booked the hotel by myself? So once I did that, I did the exact same dates, the time, whatever, and it came out about $750 cheaper. That's including tax and all that stuff. I was like, okay, here we go. It's $750 cheaper. So basically, for transport, On Location is charging $750 more, you know, for just the transport itself. I was like, cool, it makes sense. I'll just get the hotel by myself. I was like, wait a second. This is my 5th WrestleMania. What have I learned from my WrestleMania experiences? Number 1, WrestleMania is always in a stadium event. If you have ever been to a stadium event, if you have no transportation, let's say if you got an Uber there, or if you got in a taxi, whatever, or if you took a bus or any other transportation, getting out by yourself is almost like a mistake waiting to happen. Don't ever do that. Don't. I have learned my lesson over and over again from the past experiences. It is very hard for you to get out of the stadium when WrestleMania ends. And I think this is for almost every stadium event, because everybody's trying to get out at the same time. And if you're trying to catch an Uber, nah, you can forget it. It'll probably be about 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning before you can actually leave. So imagine this, you're having to try to use a bathroom, and not to mention it was cold as hell. So yeah, that's the last thing you want, is to be stuck there in 30-degree weather when you're having to use the bathroom and you have nowhere to go and you're having to wait on Uber. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll spend $750 extra just to have that peace, knowing that I'll be on the WrestleMania bus. I don't have to worry about transportation or anything. I can get on the bus and, you know, come back to my hotel. And sure enough, it's always been a breeze. I did that at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas. It was a breeze, and that was a breeze this time around as well. We got out of there. As soon as we got out of the stadium, they told us where to meet in an end parking lot, and sure enough, bus was waiting for us. It was nice and cozy, and we were able to leave within the next 30 minutes when everybody was in the bus. They counted people, how many people were in the bus when they got on and when they got off, and sure enough, everybody was in the bus within the next 30 minutes after when they were letting people out. So I spent $36.50 for 2 people, and I think that was well worth the money spent, knowing the fact that you will be back at your hotel and you don't have to worry about transportation at all, because On Location is your transport taking care of you. One thing is, though, you have to keep this in mind, the fact that you have to get on bus early enough, so just make sure that you don't make any crazy plans at all that afternoon for WrestleMania, because they want you there at the stadium as early as 4:30 p.m. Because not to mention, WrestleMania was moved up on the time this year around like maybe 30 minutes or an hour. I could be wrong. So they moved up the time slot for that. We had to be ready to leave the hotel by 3:30 p.m. no exceptions whatsoever. And sure enough, I think our buses left at like 3:40, 3:42. I looked at the time, and we were there in the stadium, or at the stadium, at 4-ish, early 4-ish or so. Maybe it was around 4:45 p.m. or so. All in all, everything came up about $12,650. So that's not even including what you're going to be spending there, your food, the merch that you're buying. And not to mention, I actually had SmackDown tickets outside of the On Location package that I purchased. And I was having to figure out a way to get to the Wells Fargo Arena, which is right next to Lincoln Financial Field, or the stadium. Which it really didn't cost me that much because we took SEPTA. SEPTA is like Armada in Atlanta. It only took about $4 per ride for 2 people, so that's not too bad. I think I spent $8 going there and coming back, which I'm kind of glad that we left Hall of Fame early, because I heard afterward that SEPTA ended around 12 something in the morning, and we got there right at 12-ish, early 12-ish, and SEPTA had stopped running after a little while. So I am so glad that we left Hall of Fame early that night, right after when Paul Heyman's speech ended. We were like, let's go, because it was getting way too late, and we had a lot of other things that we have to do that Saturday morning. So we really couldn't, just spend time there in the arena watching Hall of Fame. Next thing you know, we're sitting there for like the next 2 hours for the Hall of Fame to go on and on and on, and we're just wasting energy. Okay, so you guys probably noticed that I am wearing a different shirt, and that's simply because I'm recording this days later. After recording the first part of the video, I got real busy, and yet here we are. So let's go ahead and do this and continue where I left off. So On Location sent out communication emails regarding the itinerary. They actually sent out an official itinerary on March the 28th, which was 8 days before the event. And I kind of got like a little irritated because I was having to shift some things around. And I know when you're there for WrestleMania, you're there for WrestleMania. But the problem is that I had some timings that were clashing with my stuff that I was doing with WrestleMania World, or World at WrestleMania. I had VIP meet and greets, but I'm going to get down to that a little bit later, because I'm going to do a pros and cons comparison, and you can actually justify whether if this package is for you or not. But anyways, On Location sent out emails regarding itinerary. They sent one out on March 28th, like I said. So, you know, a lot of the communication was done within the last 2 weeks of time frame. I got my official tickets for WrestleMania on Saturday or Monday. I think it was Monday Night Raw. While I was watching, I started getting my emails like, hey, claim your WrestleMania tickets right now. So it was just days before WrestleMania. So in that way, I don't think you can actually try to resell your tickets. You know, you might have to just, you know, actually go to WrestleMania, because I know some people are in for reselling the package or whatever. Anyways, but yeah, you get your tickets right before WrestleMania. So upon checking in at the hotel, we went up to the Homer room where we collected our lanyard and asked all kinds of other information that you can't find in the emails. So for example, your coordinator is the one answering all the questions. You can get in touch with him directly. He or she will give you their cell phone number. So if you have any questions, any emergency, you can get in touch with them directly. And they're actually quite helpful. Our guy was Brandon Williams. He was a super nice guy, super helpful, very nice, very down to earth, which was, you know, the nicest thing about him. He actually helped us quite a lot, getting us through a couple of weird situations, which I'm going to get down to it here in just a second. So after freshening up, we went down to the convention center. It was only about 17 to 20 minute walking distance, depending on what kind of traffic you know, the downtown area had. You already know what kind of experience I had at the convention center. I already kind of talked about this early on in the video, and I had a lot of cons to say because it was unorganized. So just keep that in mind regarding On Location. They just have to, I feel like they need to prioritize all of your On Location guests. They have signs visible, but the people aren't actually helping out, pushing the agenda like, hey, On Location people, y'all need to get through here. And the problem is that some of the other people were getting in the same queue and they were letting them in. So that was the biggest problem, and I didn't like that at all. So on Saturday, we went down to, of course, you know, the Lincoln Financial Field. And we were in the queue, and of course I already talked about the queue. You know, queue was a disaster because they took forever to check us in. I bet you the timing they had listed, it was 4:30 through 6:30, the pre-show hospitality. Well, the gates didn't open up until like maybe close to 5 o'clock. I think WWE sends out a message to the gatekeepers or the people who are letting in the fans, like, hey, now you can enter this, you know, arena or the stadium, etc. The event has started, so let's go ahead and get you checked in so you can start walking in. Well, we only had one person checking, you know, the entire queue, and that was a big disaster because it took forever. So by the time we got into the stadium, it was already close to like 5:30. So that's like an hour being lost. So some of the people, like let's say the Elite or the Champion Edition gold package, not the gold pack, the Champion or the Elite package members, they got in before we did because they were in a separate queue, and the gold and the silver were kind of behind. So we didn't actually get to see all of the superstars on Saturday. But then again, I had the best time ever. So the way FanDuel Lounge worked was basically you have this main floor level, which was for your gold and your silver package members. Then up above another level, you have the Champion and the Elite, where you have some marquee superstars like the Undertaker or Kane. I'm just throwing out bigger names, you know, where you can actually meet them individually, where there's not like a long queue or where it's not so crowded. Those people paid for premium ticket prices like the front row seating or your ringside seatings, you know. But anyways, I still had a blast. I can see what's happening up there. People are doing meet and greets with superstars like Liv Morgan and some of the other bigger names, you know. What I saw when I walked in, I saw people just having a blast. There's music playing in the background. It is a vibe in there, you know. Lots of fans, of course, You have food going on in there. You're just grabbing, food items, and then walking up on people like, Shinsuke Nakamura or WWE referees or NXT superstars for that matter. There was a queue going on in the corner, and 15 to 20 minutes later, I was kind of bummed out because I wasn't in the queue. That's also because they let us in late. I was kind of ticked off. And the queue was for Street Profits, and that's what kind of irritated me, because when they came out, I really wanted a picture with Montez Ford. But something magical happened. But I want to explain this, why we were late getting into the stadium, because we were on a bus and all the bus members went to this certain area where they were letting this certain gold and your elite champion silver package members through this different area or different queue from the outside to the inside of the stadium. I'm having to kind of explain it to you why we were kind of late getting in. That's also because we only had one person checking us in. There were other gold and the elite package members. They were probably on the other side of the stadium or wherever they showed up. They probably had signs and they probably got in there quicker because they may have had maybe 2 or 3 people checking them in and getting them into the stadium. So I'm trying to explain that to you guys. Hopefully you know how that worked. So anyways, I missed out on the meet and greet with the Street Profits, but when they came out, this is what happened.
What better way to start WrestleMania than starting with the Street Profits? Because y'all know what it is. The Street Profits are out, and we want the smoke! Remember what I did to Braun Strowman last year? We did.
You guys got this. You guys got this. You guys got this. He wants the smoke.
Hey, tell him Doc don't put us in the same room. It's the issue, don't put us in the same room then.
Let's go.
His stick season, son. Dark tickets. Wait, see. Jesus. He knows what it means.
And this went on for literally about 7 to 8 minutes continuously. So the way that this worked was basically they were about to leave, and Karrion Kross and some of the other guys, they were coming in, so they had this altercation face to face, a lot of drama, which was cool because this happened right in front of my eyes. I mean, they were like so close to me. I can touch them, fist bump them, pat on their backs, etc. It was awesome. I had a blast. I think I would rather have this than just a just a simple picture. I would rather have different variations of interactions and other things for that matter. So either ways, that was on Saturday. So on Sunday, I had the best time ever. I walked in without any expectations. I knew that Undertaker was going to be there, and I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. It said Undertaker pre-show hospitality. I think that's what actually sold the gold package, because when you look at the gold package, you can see all the perks, but the one that actually stand out is the pre-show hospitality with the Undertaker. When you see a name like the Undertaker, that's your biggest marquee name on the card or on the poster or whatever you want to call it. So I walked in and I was like, okay, this is going to be like Saturday, I walk in and, go to the bar, get a drink or so, get something to eat. But, of course, there was a queue piling up, and the rumor was that this was going to be for the Undertaker. But before that even started, Undertaker was already up on the upper level taking pictures with the champion and the elite members. So he was doing that for them already. He spent about, I would say, about 45 minutes with them, and then he came downstairs. When he came downstairs, oh my god, the crowd erupted, and of course the queue started piling up. And surely, like within the next 20 or 25 minutes, I was able to take a picture with the Undertaker, and my night was made. I was just smiling from one cheek to another. It was just is that even a saying? I just made that up. I don't know. I think it's from ear to ear, but man, oh man, I was just blown away meeting the Undertaker. And of course, this was my second time meeting the Undertaker, because on Saturday, the day before, I had a VIP autograph signing, which, you know, you don't come face to face. Undertaker is sitting down, and you walk up to him with your memorabilia and you can get it signed. So there wasn't a whole lot of interaction there. It was just me walking up to him, introducing myself, and presenting my items. And I was like, hey, you know, this is my WrestleMania 28 ticket. This is my Survivor Series ticket, your anniversary. I would like to get the sign. He was like, cool, let's do it. Thank you for, you know, or whatever. And yeah, that was pretty much it. But, you know, on Sunday, I got the full-blown experience. Got a picture with him, and he asked me what's my name, and I told him I'm a long life fan as far as I can remember when I was a kid, you know. So that was a pretty cool moment for me. And also, not to mention, that's like one of the biggest things to be checked off the bucket list, for that matter. And I totally forgot to mention that I met a lot of other superstars like Zoe Stark, Chelsea Green, Gable Steveson, and more. So let's wrap this video up with some pros and cons, shall we? Let's start out with the cons, since I've talked some of the good stuff in the last couple of minutes. I would say a lot of last second planning, a lot of unorganized stuff happening at their locations, such as Convention Center or the venue of PLE. Highly priced due to demand. They don't let you get in a few minutes early, and you know, we had a very tough time getting to the FanDuel Lounge on Saturday because we were in the stadium so late that the crowd has started piling in, and we were having a hard time following the FanDuel Lounge signing. And not to mention, they also had priority pass signs throughout the whole stadium. But man, oh man, when you have 70,000 fans in the stadium, it's kind of hard to follow the signs. So I would at least expect to let us in at least 10 to 15 minutes early before the regular people start piling in, you know. I think that would be a big plus. That would be the only way to fix this whole situation. I would like to thank Brandon Williams, who was our coordinator. He let us get in front of the queue to meet the Undertaker because my timing was clashing with us having to be back at the hotel so we can leave for WrestleMania on the bus. So my signing was at 2:30 through 4:30 p.m. and there was no way I can actually make it back to the hotel so we could be back on the bus by 3:30 p.m. That was just, I don't know. You can even teleport, and I don't even know if that would work or not, because let's say if you're in the queue at 2 something and the queue is going on for like an hour and the Undertaker signing your autograph at 3 something, like 3:30, how are you gonna make it back at the hotel? That was impossible. So thank you, Brandon, for helping out. They were in touch with Fanatics, and he was able to get us in front of the queue with direct communication. So here are the pros for on location package. If you are a huge fan of wrestling, then go ahead, do it. Simply just do it. If you want the ultimate fan experience, and if you want to do meet and greets and have a lot of surprising moments of your life with WWE superstars, then do it. Don't even think about it. I'll just give you another big tip. So this week I've been looking at SummerSlam tickets. When I looked into the gold package with the hotel for SummerSlam, they were actually the same price of just the tickets itself. You know, the same seats that you can actually buy now. So ultimately, you can get the hotel and the tickets, early on before the prices of tickets on Ticketmaster start, you know, going up. But yeah, that's the only recommendation I would do for the people who are looking into having the best experience with WWE itself. And if you would like to meet WWE superstars, then go ahead, do it. Don't even think about it, because I think you're gonna have the best time of your life booking with On Location, since you really don't have any other options other than just buying tickets outright by yourself. But I, on the other end, I had a really good time. And out of the cons, I've already mentioned some of the things that On Location can work on. I really do hope in future that they will provide better service. Isn't this cool? Oh, I absolutely love this thing. What a nice little scarf. And much needed on the WrestleMania nights because it was super cold. So upon entering on Sunday night in the FanDuel Lounge, there was a lady right at the staircase. She was just handing out to all the members. But yeah, this came handy on Sunday night. I really would have preferred this on the Saturday night because Saturday WrestleMania was really cold. It was brutal. It was really windy. It was windy on Sunday as well and cold, but not as cold as Saturday. Oh my gosh. But then again, I had the bestest time. And I just wanted to show this to you guys because this was a nice little goodie. This was never even mentioned on the gold package that this was going to be given to us. This was just a totally a total surprise, and not to mention this cool little thing. This is not provided by On Location, but this is my souvenir cup. Alright guys, looks like that's pretty much it for this video. If I missed anything, if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, post a comment and ask away, because I'm going to try to respond to all the comments anytime, whenever I get a chance, because I want to provide the most feedback to most of the people who are concerned or who are looking into the Priority Pass On Location package. And then again, since I'm recording this 2 weeks after I recorded the first part of the video, I still don't have some of the stuff that they promised that they were going to send, and it is today, May the 15th of the time that I'm recording this video, and WrestleMania was on the 7th and the 8th. So take it for that matter. I mean, it's been what, 5-6 weeks or so, and we still don't have the post WrestleMania gifts. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye bye.
He's in the ring, I think!